So here we go. Round 3 has taken an age to arrive, but it's finally here. All the teams have been announced. Well, provisionally anyway, with England confirming their side tomorrow. So be sure to keep notifications turned on for any last minute videos tomorrow. Also, it says 87% of you who are watching are not subscribed. We're really pushing to get my first 1,000 subscribers, so if you haven't subscribed already, go down now and subscribe to keep up with the latest fantasy news. So without further ado, let's get into team selection for round 3. So starting off with the front row, we have Piers Skoman, Luke Cowan-Dickie and Ellis Genge. Skoman for Scotland has been decent so far this tournament, and I expect him to put up a good fight against that dominant French pack. Skoman is probably one of Scotland's best scrummagers, so meeting France head-on will help their chances of winning the game. I've picked Cowan-Dickie because I believe he's overdue a brilliant performance. With that mistake against Scotland basically costing England the game, and Jamie George's 2 tries against Italy, Cowan-Dickie will be looking to strike back and prove he's the number 1 hooker for England, and I believe he can do it. So watch out for those quick taps close to the line. And as for Genge, while we all know his strengths of carrying, and this will be important against Wales as I see England having lots of the ball. Cyril Baille was also close to being picked, but Genge pipped it for me, as well as having other French players in different positions. Now into the second rows, and I've gone with Will Rowlands and England captain Courtney Lawes. I mentioned Rowlands in my previous video, and he's been one of the standout second rows so far, and if Wales are to win at Twickenham, they will need to front up and put pressure on England, and I believe Rowlands can do that. And as for Lawes, well, it was a simple choice for me. I'm always pondering over second rows, but Lawes is actually playing 6, which will hopefully mean more carries and more tackles. And I think he'll be a key part of England if they do go on to win that game. In the back row, I've picked the returning Faletau, Aldrit and Hamish Watson. Wales have been really missing Faletau, with his great carrying and ability to break the gain line. He's only just come back from injury, which is a bit of a worry I guess, but he could be important if Wales go on to win the game. I don't think they will, but still, Faletau should have an impactful game. Gregory Aldrit is becoming a mainstay in my side at the moment. He carries more into contact each game than any other French player, and that shows their resilience and reliance on him to win the gain line. If they are to win up in Scotland, then hard carrying is going to be a vital point, especially in windy, bad conditions. So Aldrit is a favourite of mine right now. And as for Watson, he offers those defensive capabilities, which will be apparent on Saturday as France should have most of the ball, just like England did against them. I expect probably 15 or more tackles from Watson, so beware of decent points. My halfbacks is where it starts to get interesting. So of course this week I've backed Dupont. I think he can push France to victory up in Scotland, and I'm hoping for another try or 2. With Scotland's inexperienced back row, I think Dupont can pick them off during the game and get a great deal of success from this. So I'm keen to see if the theory comes true. And at fly half, I've gone with Mike Lowry. Yes, he's starting at fullback for Ireland on the weekend, but in this fancy game, he's a 10. I think this is an extra bonus because of the meterage fullbacks can make. It's also Lowry's debut, so the team will be really backing him to get good points. If Sexton were starting, then I would have been picking him, but Lowry gives a different edge to this pick. Of course, I'm losing Marcus Smith, but I fancy Ireland versus Italy more than I do with England versus Wales. So let's hope this one pays off. In the centres, I've gone pretty big with Fickou and Ringrose. Fickou has been brilliant so far, and I expect him to do the same against Scotland. If Scotland do maintain possession and build pressure, then it'll be the French defence that needs to front up, and we all know that Fickou is their defensive leader. He can also be on the end of a try, through breaking the line and following attacks. And as for Ringrose, well, he's up against Italy, and with Robbie Henshaw back, I think Ringrose will have more chance in the wide areas, where they will get most of their success. Ringrose is key here, as he will link the inside to the outside, and there can be many tries in this game if this connection pays off. And finally, in the starting 15 is the back three, and I've gone with James Lowe, Mac Hansen and Jaminet. Now I'm hoping this is where I get the majority of my points from. James Lowe returns to the starting team after coming back from injury last week and picking up a try for Leinster. It's going to be very hard to decide who I actually want as my captain. At the moment, I'm with Hansen, but I'm debating James Lowe as well. This is the kind of decision where you pull your hair out because it can literally come down to the flip of a coin. Obviously, I expect both wingers to do pretty well, but it didn't turn out that way last week with England versus Italy, with Jack Nowell coming off injured pretty early. So let's hope this doesn't happen again and both wingers can get good points. And as for Jaminet, well, he's fast becoming a clutch player for France, kicking goals and taking high balls under pressure. He's scored decent points so far this tournament, so I do expect him to have the same effect again, with a tight game expected up in Scotland. So that's my starting 15, let's see who I've picked on the bench. My bench consists of Darcy Graham, Josh Adams and Elliot Daly as my super sub. Now, Graham and Adams were safe picks in case Scotland and Wales pull off surprise victories, in my opinion. Both wingers are capable of scoring against their opposition and can be a real threat, so that's my reasoning for these two. Now as for Daly, he's my super sub. He did brilliantly against Italy, who I regretfully missed out on. He covers the whole back line outside of 12, so any injuries or substitutions, then he's on. But, and there is a big but here, the England team is actually yet to be finalised. As we know, Tuolangi is out due to injury, but they haven't actually named their final team. Marchant is of course thought to be straight in for the straight swap, with Slade moving to 12. But the England team is going to be finalised tomorrow morning. So this is a great reason to turn on notifications in case of late selection drama. Jordan Hume is another great super sub choice, who was a close second to Daly, and if things dramatically change, I could switch to this. So that is my current team for round 3 of the Six Nations. Let me know what you think down in the comments, and also which players you're looking at putting into your teams. Let's hope I can bounce back after a poor round 2. I hope you all do well as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you maybe very soon for another video.